Evening. Today is January 16th at Sawyer County Courthouse. Public meeting before the Sawyer County Zoning Board of Appeals is hereby called to order at 5 p.m. Sawyer County Courthouse in Hayward, Wisconsin. Present on behalf of the board, Al Gerber, Laura Russ, Steve Kelsey, Dee Dobelis, and Jim Tiffany. From the zoning office, Jay Kozlowski and Pat Brown. Those persons desiring to give pertinent testimony will be afforded the opportunity to do so. As recognized by the chairman, that person will clearly state their full name before giving testimony. Each hearing will follow this order: reading of the application, submission of the file to the board, applicant statement and presentation of evidence, testimony of those in support of the application, statements from persons in objection to the application, rebuttal as permitted by the board, and decision by the board. Orderly procedure requires that each side shall proceed without interruption by the other. All testimony will be addressed to the board, and there will be no questions or arguments between individuals. Any persons aggrieved by a decision of the board may appeal the decision of the Sawyer County Court within 30 days of the date following the board's decision letter. The day following the signing of the board's decision letter is the first day of the 30-day appeal filing period. This public hearing has been published as a Class 2 notice in accordance with Chapter 985 Wisconsin statutes in the Sawyer County Record and the Sawyer County Gazette. Public hearing will follow this order: variance application, new business, and adjournment. We should probably amend that last statement because we need to review the minutes of the prior meeting and vote on the approve or not. So, did everybody receive a copy of the October 8th, 17th meeting? Any changes, direction, alterations? All those in favor of, I don't know, need a motion to approve the minutes as presented? In a second? Second. Yeah. Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion as presented signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passed 5-0.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one variance application this evening. This is the public hearing in the town of Edgewater, variance number 24-001. Thomas and Jennifer Clemens, part of the southwest one quarter, the northwest one quarter, and part of the northwest one quarter, the southwest one quarter. It's lot 3 of CSM number 3142, parcel number 008-938-302301. It is 0.460 total acres, zoned residential recreational 1. Application is for the construction of a 2-story 24 by 24 attached garage, which is 26 by 26 with eaves, and a 6 by 8 rear bump out, and an 8 by which is 8 by 10 with eaves, and a 10 by 15 lateral bump, which is 12 by 12 with eaves. This structure is proposed to have a 15-foot setback at the closest point to the traveled center line of a 10-foot driveway easement. Variance is requested as section 4.21 parent 6 of the Sawyer County zoning ordinance. Setback requirements on highways and roadways would require the prior granting of a variance for any structures less than 30 feet to the center line of a private easement. That is 33 feet or less in width. The proposed variance again is requesting a 15-foot setback at the closest point to the traveled center line of a 10-foot driveway easement. As part of the staff report, again, the applicant is requesting for a 24 by 24 2-story garage with a 6 by 8 rear bump and a 10 by 15 lateral bump. Again, this would be 15 feet at the closest point to the center line of a 10-foot driveway easement, which would require a 30-foot setback. As part of the on-site inspection, which was conducted by Pat Brown on June 2nd of 2023, the proposed building location was laid out on the property for the attached 2-story garage with the bump outs as previously described. This proposed structure would meet all other setbacks to the side property lines and ordinary high water mark of County Line Lake. No other area would result in conformance due to severe slopes viewed during the time of inspection. As part of motion from the town board, motion was approved. Pete Baraboo, chairman, Scott Spaeth, supervisor, Jamie Scar, supervisor. There were 5 additional notification letters sent out to adjacent property owners. None were returned. That is all.
Did the town have any restrictions or additions?
No additional comments. Signed, Natalie Clemens, town clerk.
Okay. All right. Are the Clements here or someone to speak on their behalf? You step to the microphone, sir. And you'll need to state your name.
Tom Clemens.
Can you tell us anything we don't already know?
Basically, it's a dead end road with an easement. So there's one property owner at the start of the dead end road who has two lots. My neighbor to the north has two lots, my lot, and then there is one more cabin on the end of the road. Very minimal use there. The proposed structure is gonna actually sit where the parking area is now. No more intrusion on them getting by, our area on that easement. It won't be in the easement. As the document stated, there is no other place to go. In the front of the cabin slopes down at a steep slope down to the lake. We've been working to preserve that and keep all natural vegetation. So, basically, we're looking to have two-car garage for vehicles. The extra bump out to the south is for a tractor to maintain the 500-foot driveway, and numerous other neighbors who are all seven my friends. And the rear bump out would be to have a little bit of a workbench, but more so for the stairwell or ladder to get upstairs, which is completely just storage.
So there's a total of how many cabins past you?
One.
Oh, just one, okay.
And that's a seasonal summer only.
I'm assuming you're gonna have an interior access into your home from the garage?
Yes.
And no intention of any finished living space in this?
None whatsoever. There won't be any other than, some heat. There won't be any plumbing. We'll just attach the garage to the existing front third or 2/3 of the front of the cabin. And that will be the existing exterior door will be the door from the garage.
It looks like you got a pretty good slope from that space down to the lake.
106 steps.
Yeah, it drops pretty quick there.
It does.
Where this proposed addition with the bump out to the lakeside, does that have to have significant fill retention, or is that far enough from the steep slope?
It's far enough from the steep slope, from where the parking is in the front of the cabin, drops down a little bit with a lot of rock there. The proposal and talking with my builder, friend the builder, the idea there is more of a deck type thing to go house with pre-engineered poles to sit on that bank, so there's no erosion there so we don't dig anything up, and that's the main thing. I guess to further explain, the well is on one side, the septic is on the other, so there's nowhere to go on the side.
Which way is the eve and the ridge running on this addition? Is it running from the driveway to the house, or is it lengthwise of the addition?
We're trying to figure that out. I think what we want to do is one side straight and then bring it down this way, so it would be opposite of the house. We just have to figure out how the valleys work. Again, keeping in mind, we're very active in the Lake Association. I serve as vice president, trying to maintain that shoreline in a natural state. We'll work with people, make sure anything that comes off of there does not. It's all gutter and drain tile now. So I'll work with the environmental people who have to meet my sister on that. Make sure Goes where it should, so.
Helps with the distance from the lake and is captured by natural vegetation.
Any other information to share with us? Any further questions of the applicant? Okay, thanks. May call on you during our discussion phase. Is there anyone else to speak on behalf of the application? Is there anyone to speak in opposition of the application?
Linda Zilmer, property owner in Edgewater, resident of the Village of Birchwood, and wanted to speak in opposition to granting a variance that would put a structure that close to a road. I'm thinking back to last winter with trying to do snow removal and providing access to properties beyond that. But I want to remind folks who took the time to go to the Board of Appeals training. I appreciate the time that you took. I think there was a lot that was learned, and I appreciated the role play and the comment from, I believe it was the chair of the Washburn County Board of Appeals. She said, as counties really have to do better, not just in what you're doing here tonight, it's looking at the facts, but to do better to inform applicants of what the three-step test is and what the burden is that they have to prove to be granted a variance. And when I looked at the file, I was concerned because the inspection report is missing vital information. There's the lot line distances are not marked. You don't have an idea of what that full lot size is. I don't know how accurate the drawing is versus dimensions on the lot. It did not point out, although we just heard now that the well is on one side and the septic is on the other, and that probably should have been put out there. This application, and it's up to you to decide, but I could not see how it met the three-step tests. And if you look at the topography of neighboring lots, I'm concerned that and I think it was mentioned that some of the neighbors have two lots. You almost need to have two lots to be able to develop on these and to grant variances that don't meet this test. I think it sets a bad precedent. And I think too, as counties, the comment that counties have to do better when these little lakes that no longer have the protection of lakes classifications, when there are requests to rezone from forestry to residential, recreational, 1 or 2 for the smaller lots. This is kind of an example of what happens when people try to upgrade to, full-time living or today's building standards on lots that were really designed for small cabins. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else to speak in opposition to the application? Okay, hearing none, discussion by the board. Did most of us have an opportunity to stop out there?
I did not.
I did. I was there yesterday. The easement road that goes to if I get my bearings right, would it be going south? Looked very sparsely used. And it didn't appear as though any further development would ever be conducted south of the Clement site, just because of the narrowness of the property and the topography that's there. There's more than one lot past that, but I don't think it's ever going to be developed. So I don't anticipate that there's ever going to be a high traffic volume going south past the Clements property, but
That's a good point. Linda's points also were good. I think going back to our training that's being brought up a lot. We are supposed to look at the minimum relaxation of the standards to, and I get needing a garage. I 100% get needing a garage, but the configuration is of it and down to the 15 feet to the easement is more, that is more of a convenience for the owner than having the garage. It's not the garage itself, it's just the configuration of things and having the outside entrance. Just some thoughts. And a separate longer area to store snow equipment. I think that was what was said. Having a place to park a couple of vehicles could be done without the bump outs.
Which bump out are you talking about? That 10 by 15?
Yeah,
Okay.
Anyway,
again, I think minimum relaxation of the standard. You know, the minimum size required to give them what it is they need, which is a standard size garage.
Laura, so this is the 10 by 15 you're talking about, right?
I'm looking at this drawing. And that 10 by 15 bump out is to house a stairway to get up to the second level.
Okay.
No,
That's in this
yes,
one?
960.
No.
That's including.
This
these,
one?
Because I ran impervious surfaces.
Because the 10 by 15 isn't any closer to than this part. Right. So understand that exactly.
Do we know where the well and the septic are?
6 by 8 rail. That, okay.
We could ask Mr. Clements that, the location of your well and your septic.
Well,
You might need to, sorry.
so as you're facing
Kind
the
of.
front of the house, the well is off to the left.
So it would be
It's
between the
over, yeah,
property
it's
lines.
over farther to the left.
This between where the proposed garage would be and the lot line.
Yes.
And would that be legal setbacks from the well?
2 feet from the overhang is the required setback to a well.
And the septic is where?
Septic is off on the other side.
Okay.
Where are you pointing, Jim?
Right over here.
Oh, okay, right. Right, thanks.
And there is no removal. Probably any bar stops in here.
Jay or Pat, did either of you do a impervious surface calculation?
Yes, I had done one here, 11.9% with the proposal. Total square footage of footprint area 772 with eaves 960. Although I'm probably double dipping on some of those eaves now that I think of it. So we actually might be even less than 11.9%.
Any further discussion?
The other 10 by 15 then, that is what is proposed for your, that bump out is for your snow removal equipment?
Yes.
Mr. Clements, did you comment earlier that, the runoff from the new roof is to be determined, or did you have a game plan which direction it's gonna go?
Doesn't. The plan would be to put a gutter system on that end.
Can you step to the mic, please, so we can pick it up for audio? Thank you.
Plan would be to put a gutter system on that side of the roof and bring it back to the.
Towards the
West.
towards the road, not the lake? Okay. And Pat, it's 90 feet from the deck to the water now?
Correct, yes, that's what I had, and I think that was obtained from the old land use permit and sanitary inspection.
So the footprint would start about 105 feet back from the water, plus or minus. Where the addition is to start.
Okay, well, thank you. There's no additional comments or questions. Does anyone care to make a motion? To either approve or deny the request as presented? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the request as presented. Do I have to do findings of fact before the second?
should.
Okay, I don't see that it's a self-created hardship or for the convenience of the owner. There's not damage to the rights of others. It is due to conditions that are unique to property, that being the steep slope going towards the lake. And there's no change of use in the zone district. And it's not for the basis of economic gain. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Steve. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion as presented, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Let the record reflect that the motion is passed by a vote of 4-1. Thank you. And thank you. Feels none, any new business to come before the board? I asked Jay and Pat earlier if there would be a meeting in March, because I would not be around, but so far, what did you guys say?
No applications. Application deadline would have been of as yesterday. So right now, no meetings for March or February.
All right.
No Valentine's candy for you guys. When's Easter? Uh-oh.
End of April,
Oh, well, the bunny might be able to.
Yeah.
end of March. It is the end of March. It's early this year, though.
All right, if there's no further business, is there a motion to adjourn? The motion and a second. D, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, both same sign. We are adjourned. Steve, Steve to adjourn, and D seconded it.